Let's unbox the Star Wars Stormtrooper helmet-shaped glass lamp from Typo. Varykino. If it's Star Wars, we collect it. Hello there, thanks for visiting Varykino. Now that we have tidied up after the Christmas Day festivities, it's time to open up some of the really cool Star Wars gifts that we received for Christmas this year. And one item that we got from family is this Stormtrooper helmet-shaped glass lamp from local retailer Typo. Typo generally does stationery and a small range of homewares, and they generally cycle through licensed collabs. And of course, they do Star Wars from time to time, and they recently did a collaboration with Star Wars to do a bit of an Empire themed on some stationery and homewares items. This one looks really, really cool. We love Star Wars lighting. It's just a little bit different to add a little bit of fun Star Wars touches around the home. So I really want to get this one out of the box and on display so we can enjoy it. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Let's take a quick look at the packaging and let's get it open. So of course we can see that this box is just cardboard all around. It doesn't have a window. Of course it's got to be sturdy because this is glass. It's got a fair bit of weight to it here. So we've got a nice clear image here of the lamp all lit up. We've got the Star Wars logo. We've got the name for it. Typo generally uses the word collab for licensed collections, and you can see it says Stormtrooper there underneath to help people understand what this is if they're not Star Wars fans. Again, a little bit of a preview here, a little bit more cut off with the Star Wars logo, nice and clear. Star Wars logo on that side, and on this one we have things like the price, the barcode, and the copyright information for the different retailers, because of course Typo does have a few other different countries. For us, most of our products are sourced from Australia, so that's where they are based for the New Zealand branches there. Now on the top we just have the simple Typo logo there, and the underside is just plain black, not much to see there. So pretty plain packaging, but of course it's what inside that counts. So let's go ahead and cut through the tape here at the top. So hopefully this won't be too hard to get it all out, because of course it is glass, it is heavy. I'm hoping it's not going to be too of a tricky job to unpack. So I'm really excited, you know. I wanted to make sure that everything was tidied away after Christmas before we start unpacking all of our gifts. Okay, so we've got, looks like some polystyrene here. This looks good, well packaged here. Curious to see, is that going to go all the way in? Okay. Wow, okay, I'm going to slide it out. We've got a power cable here tucked in at the side. We've got a little bit of the instruction booklet there. Looks like I can just get my fingers in here. This looks really well packaged. I wasn't sure how the glass would come. I was expecting cardboard, to be honest. So this is good. Okay, let's just pop that box out of the way there. Okay, wow. Look at that. We've got a really neat shaped glass element here. Okay, picking it up out of that. There we go. Okay, this is looking really nice. I didn't get the chance to see it on display in a store. Our family members spotted this and knew as Star Wars fans we would love this. This looks really cool. Okay, so it looks like we've got just a little bit of sort of speckling from, you know, production and stuff like that. But this is really fun. When it comes to Stormtrooper items, things can be a little bit interesting when it comes to the shape and mold for Stormtrooper helmets. It's so iconic. And over the years, we've seen some questionable accuracies. I know it is just a homewares item. We're not looking for the accuracy of high-end Star Wars collectibles, but you still, for Star Wars fans, want it to be true and not be too disproportionate. Of course, we don't have any sort of painted elements here, but this looks really nice. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly tidy up. Let's get the packaging and the box out of the way, and I want to plug this in so we can see how it looks like all lit up. So this is looking really cool. Now that I've got all the packaging away, we can go over the details. So this is the small instruction manual for it. This is the English section. It's basically the product specifications. It uses a USB cable that is permanently attached in the back. So, and then it just says, you know, basically don't get it wet and look after it because it is glass there. So I'll just pop that away. So let's look at the base. You can see that we've kind of got the glass section of the Stormtrooper helmet comes into this wider here circular base section, which is kind of screwed on here to the base. We have the Star Wars logo and the Lucasfilm copyright mark here, as well as Typo on the back. And the bottom does have this nice black foam non-slip base, so that's not going to sort of leave marks or anything on your surface, which is nice there. You can see the cable there is inserted directly into it, so got to look after the cable because we can't replace it. That is permanently attached in there. But you can see the shape of the Stormtrooper helmet's really quite nice. There are certainly some ugly, misshapen Stormtrooper helmets out there. This has got a really good proportion to it, some really good details here. And overall, I don't sort of see major flaws. We've got just those very, very small sort of lines in terms of the casting. It's very, very small here. We can kind of just see that there in the back, but they're not ridged or sort of high or ugly or anything like that. Very simple, just tucked away in the back. And I do appreciate that we've got a lot of the helmet details in the back because, of course, we're generally going to be facing this towards the front when we've got it plugged in. So I will just take a quick little look at the front, then we'll get this plugged in. So one thing that I noted when I was getting this one out, if you look down low, you can just kind of make out the LED light sort of section down low in the base through the sort of mouth breather part here of the helmet. You can just sort of make it out there. So I am hoping, because the light source is down low, that it's going to give a nice even illumination throughout the whole helmet. But yeah, it looks really nice. Now I did notice that there was a sort of a little bit of a speckling sort of stuck to the surface of the front of the helmet, and just a sort of a little bit of a light scratch with the fingernail. It did remove most of it. I'll probably go in there and clean it a little bit better because this is quite a thick, glossy, of course, glass surface. You can sort of clean it with a bit of sort of, you know, buffing or a polishing cloth or something like that. As it noted, not to use any sort of cleaning products on it or to get it wet because it is an electronic item. Of course, you don't want to sort of break it because it's glass, and you also don't want to get it wet and fry it. So this is the sort of on-off button here. It isn't actually a push button, it's a touch button. It does know that there are some different sort of color light modes, not sort of rainbow colors or anything like that, but in terms of cool and warm light, which is nice if you have particular preferences about that. So I'm going to quickly sort of undo the cable here, get that twisty tie off so we can plug it in, and look at how this looks all lit up. I think it's going to look really cool. So now I have the lamp plugged in. The cable is quite long. That's a 3-meter long USB power cable there. So it does give you a lot of flexibility with positioning. You know, sometimes you get things that need to be plugged in, but the nearest outlet is quite a distance away. So I like that 3 meters is quite long. So let's go and turn it on. There we go. So that is the first light mode. You can see that the light source is quite low in terms of the helmet, but we do still get a fairly good sort of even illumination. I was a little bit worried when it comes to shaped things. Sometimes you get a lot of sort of dark structural sort of shapes showing through, but because this is just sort of made out of glass, we don't sort of have these weird attachment lines. Sometimes if it's plastic, you can see where the pieces have been attached together and it gives these sort of dark patches to it. I quite like the sort of overall glow that we've got going on here. Okay, let's check out the other light modes. We've got a cool, sort of icy, sort of a blue-white light here. That's quite nice. And then we have sort of a bit of a middle ground there. And a third tap turns it off. So really nice, really sort of just a very, very gentle touch. And that's quite nice cycling through the lights there. So as I suspected, of course, the light source is quite low. You can kind of see it there, but I do like the way it's not too sort of broken up with attachment points because this is a one-piece glass item. I have seen some plastic Stormtrooper helmet lights, and it tends to have these sort of weird lines and dark patches, particularly around the mouth, because it's often a separate piece that's kind of screwed on. So you get these really weird shadows around it. And I was really hoping, because this looked from the box, you know, when I got it on Christmas Day, that it was going to not have those issues because it was a one-piece glass. You generally don't screw glass together. It's generally made as a single piece. And I think that that is the best way to do this. I really like that. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly dim the room lights a little bit more so we can see how this would look like in a slightly more darker room. So dimming the room lights, we can really see how neat this looks when we've just got this as the main light source. You can see how much it's casting here. You can see just a little bit of the light around on the desk here. And I think that the light, of course, is still a little bit low, but it is illuminating the whole helmet quite nicely there. And you can see the color tones there. I think I like this kind of cool tone white. I think it feels a little bit more Stormtrooper. But of course, if you have your own preference in terms of the sort of color temperature of your lights. I think that that's really quite fun that you've got those options there. Not all sort of cheaper sort of licensed items have that feature. It tends to be something, you know, that's a little bit more skimped out on, but I really like this. This looks really neat. It's just for a sort of a local, just, you know, local New Zealand store selling something like this. I'm really impressed with it. I really like the sculpting of the Stormtrooper. The glass looks really nice. Frosted, so I can't directly see the sort of the lighting structure on the inside, but enough that I can actually see all of the light coming out there. You can sort of see just how well it is illuminating my hand here with just this as the single source of the light source. I'll just quickly cycle through there so you can see that warmer tone there. This looks so cool. I think this one is my favorite. I like that really sort of crisp, cool colored light there. So this has been such a really fun Christmas gift item. I'm really happy. I didn't get to see this on display at a local store, but I saw the boxes and I thought that would be really fun. And of course, my friends and family knew that this would be something on my radar. I'm loving the Stormtrooper sculpting. There is just something about the iconic Stormtrooper helmet. I feel like even if you're just sort of a passing Star Wars fan, you've seen the original trilogy. You cannot deny just how iconic and awesome the Stormtrooper helmet is. So well known. And it works, of course, because it's such a white helmet. It's going to work perfectly as a light shape there. Of course, Vader's helmet, less likely to be used as a light source because it's so dark and black, but Stormtroopers with that iconic design and the white. Of course, if you really wanted to, you could probably, you know, paint the black trim on if you really sort of want to make it look a little bit more like a miniature Stormtrooper helmet when the light source is off. But I think this is just amazing. This looks really cool. What a fun little addition to our Star Wars home. I really like it. I love the different colors, and that long cable means that I can put it anywhere in the home. It's going to be really fun. I love it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today as I opened up a really fun Star Wars lamp to add to our Star Wars home. I had a lot of fun checking out the details. I can't wait to get this in its permanent home. I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the galaxy, and let's hang out again very soon for more Star Wars fun. May the Force be with you. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a like, check out our other videos, and subscribe for alerts about new uploads. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.